All right, so for this, we're gonna go over seated guard. It's also called claw guard, and everything has different nomenclature. But the big thing about it is my inside leg, remember this is still a half guard position. So my inside leg is gonna be attached to his leg. So think about being in half guard from here. From there, I'm gonna sit up and I'm gonna take my back arm and get in tight around his knee, right? For me, the best thing for me is just kind of making a fist here. It really doesn't matter, but I don't want to grab his leg because that's going to lose connection between my bicep and his calf. So I'm going to bite in tight on this thing and try to keep my hand close to my shoulder. You see how that kind of moved him closer to my chest. From here, my back foot is just going to be posted up. That way I can drive off of it. My front hand is going to be on the mat, A, to keep my shoulder line up, and B, to make sure that he can't start doing a Kimura. If I start reaching for stuff in here, especially a lapel or anything, he gets a hold of my wrist with that hand, he can start setting up a Kimura from here, and I'm essentially going to be trapped because he's got this knee slice position set up. So I just want to keep this arm well away from him, and you'll also notice where Timmy's knee is pointing is forward. I want to stay on the side of his knee. One of Timmy's best escapes from here is take his outside hand, C-clamp down, point his knee towards me, and then you start smashing through this. Can't let that happen. So the first thing we're going to look at is turning this into a single leg. So like I said, I'm glued to the side of Timmy's head. I've got my head up. I don't want to hug to his head because that's going to give him a lot of choking opportunities. And if I've got my head pointed down, that's going to give him a lot of stuffing opportunities to stop me from coming up. So I'm going to keep my head kind of separated from him. From this position, as I go up, think about your technical get up. I'm going to drive my hips high. I'm going to drag this knee underneath me. So for this one, we're going to pretend like we're going sideways, right? So I got this. As I drag up, I'm going to my foot, dropping out. Here's my single leg entry, right? I can keep my head here, or I can keep my head here to push into him. And then I just go for whatever finish you want on the single leg. If I want him to turn away from me, or if he unintentionally turns away from me, let's say Timmy goes for a knee cut pass from here. As he goes for his knee slice, I'm just going to turn up and come up behind him. So from here, you can see that foot is moving away from me. I can just take my back hand, come around his hip, get my tight grip, come up for a back take from that position. So if I want him to go that way, I don't have to wait for him to knee cut. I just take my shoulder and push him that way. You can see nothing's really grabbing his body. I'm just going to push him that way. So I've got this grip. I've got my fist on my shoulder. I'm going to drive my shoulder into him and make him turn away from me and drop down because I'm dragging the leg out from under him. From here, I can come up for a high and tight. I can come up around the leg. I can hit a knee tap. I've got a lot of different options from that position. Another thing that we look at is entering into the leg locks. With this, his foot's hidden from you, right? Whenever we talk about leg locks, we always talk about the best place to hide your feet is underneath their hips. So once I go here, I don't have leg lock opportunities on this one, but I've got a lot of them on here. So let's say we go here, Timmy gets a nice wide base, and he starts driving my head down, right? Like I lose head position. He starts driving down. As he drives, I'm going to let him push my shoulder to the ground. I'm going to take this open hand, cup his other ankle. So as he pushes on my head, here to here. From this position, I can just throw this leg up, so my knee is going to his heel, or his hip, excuse me. I'm not entering my case. Or if I want a knee bar, I just shoot my hips down. If I want to go, or not case, I'm sorry, ashi. There we go, thank you. So if I want an ashi, I just stand underneath. And there's my ashi, right? So I'll go the other way, show the other side of it. I'm here. Once I go over, I scoop here, hit my shoulder, bring my hips up. If I want a knee bar, I put my cup on his quadricep and I hug his big toe to my head. If I want to hit ashi, I shed my arm, come underneath, there's my outside ashi. I can also feed the foot over, go for inside ashi, a lot of other things from that position. Another option that we look at is, since I'm sitting here, a lot of leg lockers like to do a big back step, especially from half guard, right? When this foot's up, this is prime territory for him to back step and put his lower quadricep right in the pit of my knee to get his ashi entry. Go ahead and show us that, Timmy. Big back step. Look, you can see very easy entry for him. Only problem is whenever he goes for that entry, he has to put all of his weight on this leg. So if I'm here, as soon as he goes to back step, I'm just going to drive over, keep spinning around, same to the hip. And then I've got this foot completely centered. You can hit JD's famous knee bar. You can go for a pass. You can go for a mount, whichever you want to do from that position. All right. Backwards. A couple other options that we have from here is once I get in this position, I never want to switch positions, but I can switch legs, right? So this is where we're getting that Grammy drill. So let's go wide. So like I said, this is just a drill to get that motion into entering Ashi. So I go from here, as I shoot my arm under, I want my shoulder blades to be underneath his hips. So I go from here to here, I switch my feet, come up on the other side, here. And then I go back. This is called the Grammy roll. So this hand goes under. As I collect, you can see I'm on both shoulders in front of his toe. I just switch one foot for the other. Come around on this side, over here. So this is called the seated guard. It's also called the koala guard. As I said, there's a lot of things to do with this. Big place that goes wrong is either A, I leave this arm out, or B, I let him start controlling my head to smash me down or push me away. All right, so one thing I forgot to add was one of the entries into this is whenever I'm seated in butterfly, whenever I'm seated in butterfly and he's going for a standing pass. And he's going for a standing pass. Normally, he's going to go for the knee cut, and he's going to add that to a collar tie to push down and go for his pass right here, right? All he's got to do is windshield wiper this leg around, come in top side control. So, kind of the quick option for this is whenever I'm in here, as soon as he steps down, I'm collecting. As he goes to push my head down, I just come up to the outside, and then I start dragging down, get that hip control. So if we do it at full speed, I just throw him over, and that way I'm not worried about him pinning me down for the standing open guard pass. So remember, as soon as they step in between, I'm just hooking, throwing that shoulder pressure into him, and coming up beside him. Thank you.